Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am Mia with the Glam Corridor, and my channel focuses on all things fashion, style, and beauty. And for today's video, I wanted to share how to turn a graphic tee or just a plain tee into a tank top or a muscle tee, as some people like to call it. So if that's something that you're interested in, please stick around. But first, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please click that button right now and we'll get into the video. So I have 3 shirts that I'm gonna cut, but I'm just gonna show one in the video and you'll basically get the idea of how I'm gonna do it. But so for this one, this is a graphic tee of, I'm assuming there's supposed to be 2 caricatures of Napalm, who is the lead singer of my absolute favorite band of all time, Hiatus Coyote. I'm obsessed with them. I can listen to all of their albums all the way through. Literally every single album they have, I can listen to them all the way through, but that's a different story. So I'm gonna transform this shirt into a muscle tee, and then I'm also gonna do this one, this Def Leppard tee that I got from Anthropologie, and I got this one from the Hiatus Coyote website, their merch store. And then this is another graphic tee that I got from Zara years back. I got this one before I got this one, actually, probably like a year before I got this one. And these are like my 2 favorite graphic tees that I've gotten from Zara so far. The main thing you're gonna need is a really sharp pair of scissors, and a marker is optional if you feel like you don't want to mess up or you don't want your lines to be jagged and crooked. You can have a marker so you can kind of draw your guide and follow that guide. If you want the sleeve of the shirt to hang down low and have more of your side exposed, you want to cut in further, like further into the collar of the shirt. If you don't want as much side exposed, then you would want to stay closer to the hem of the sleeve of the shirt. So with this one, like I said, I basically cut like in half an inch into the hem of the sleeve. So therefore, I don't have a whole lot of my side or armpit showing. And that's just how I like my tees. Like I said, if you want to make it a little bit more of your side showing and more of your side exposed, then you can bring the cut closer into the collar of the shirt. So first, you want to make sure that your shirt is laid out flat. And the easiest way that I found to cut your shirt and make sure that the sleeves are even and everything is seamless is to fold the shirt in half. And just make sure all the seams are lined up evenly. So the seam on the collar of the shirt, make sure both sides are lined up evenly. And the same with the sleeves. So make sure the seams are lined up evenly. Down to the sleeves. And then just lay it down flat. And then just balance everything else out. Okay, so once you folded everything and the shirt is balanced and even, then you can mark it if you need to. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and start marking, you can do that now. So like I said, with me, I like less of the side of my arm to be exposed. So if you want less of your arm, your side arm, under boob, whatever, to be exposed, you need to cut further into the sleeve. If you don't mind your arm being exposed or a lot of your side being exposed, then you can come in further. But for me personally, I like to keep it closer to the sleeve of the shirt. So I normally come out from the seam of the shirt about half an inch. So I'm gonna start cutting here, and I just normally follow the shape of the sleeve, of the seam of the sleeve. So I come out half an inch from the sleeve, the hem of the sleeve, and I just follow the shape of the hem of the sleeve. So I'm gonna start here and then just work my way up. Okay, so I switched out my scissors. These are more sharp than the ones that I had before, and they're a little bit more easy for me to handle. So I'm gonna use these. So before I get started, I always like to make sure everything is balanced, because I always start at the bottom. So I just wanna make sure everything is balanced, and I grab everything. So if you mark your shirt with a marker, it'll be easy for you to just follow the mark that you made right up to the top of the shirt. So again, I'm coming out about half an inch. So I'm gonna start here. And y'all, take your time with this. You do not need to rush. But once you get finished, you can go back and cut any raw edges that you don't like with, like, typically whenever I do that, I do it with like cuticle scissors. I actually have them right here. I just take cuticle scissors once I get finished, and if there are some edges that are jagged, I just go back and clean those up with a cuticle scissor. So I'm coming out 1/2 inch because that's the way I like mine. So for time's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and get started and just kind of speed through until I get to the top. But just so you get the idea, I'm gonna go ahead and start to make my cut. So coming out 1/2 inch, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting. And again, y'all, take your time. It's not a rush, especially if this is your first time. Take your time. It's going to be a little bit tough to cut initially because you're having to cut through that thick seam, and then once you get here is when you want to start rounding up to follow the shape of the seam of the shirt. Taking your time and going really slow, and then you can kind of see how you're doing, and if the edges are too rough and jagged, like I said, it's not a big deal. You can just go back once you get finished and clean it up with cuticle scissors or even a scissors that you're using to cut the shirt. All right, my shirt is starting to get bunched up, so I'm just gonna pull it down a little bit. All right, so now I'm starting to get to the top. So I'm gonna start to slow down even more just to make sure I'm still on track. Okay, so it's looking good so far. So I'm just gonna go back and make sure everything is still balanced since I stopped, just in case I move the shirt a little bit. Everything is still in place, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep moving upward, still going slow, because it's gonna get a little bit hard once you get to the top because the seam is a little bit thicker. So now I'm at the top, so I'm just gonna all right, put the sleeves to the side, and there's your muscle shirt. And I'll try it on for you guys so you can see. And I'm gonna cut the other shirts that I showed you guys too, but I just wanted to show you one just so you can get the idea. But I'll go ahead and try this one on so you guys can see what it looks like. All right, y'all, so this is the graphic tee on, and that's how the sides fall. So like I said, the closer you cut onto the seam of the shirt where the shoulder falls, the less of your underarm and side will show, and the closer you cut into the collar of the shirt, the more of your side will show, and the lower the cut here will fall, so it'll drop lower if you cut closer into the collar. And here are the other shirts here. I already went ahead and cut those off camera. So with this one, it looks like it's cut a little bit lower and cut further into the collar, but than this one, just because with some shirts the seam drops lower onto the shoulder than other shirts, so that's why these two look a little bit different, because the shoulder on this one came up a little bit higher, similar to this one, and the shoulder on this shirt dropped lower. So always keep that in mind when you're cutting your shirts, to take that into consideration. And I will be styling all three of these shirts soon, so please make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're not on any of those platforms, I always post my looks on YouTube through YouTube Shorts. So if you're following me here, be on the lookout for those. But if you are on Instagram and TikTok, please follow me. My handle is @theglamcorridor. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.